Now, as we come into the
rest
clearing,
area there on the highway that we can
look off to the right-hand
train
side. You'll see our track crew is pulled off on the siding over there.
The Georgetown Loop Railroad operates scenic excursions as well as dinner trains between the former mining communities of Silver Plume and Georgetown, Colorado. The train ride takes passengers on a 4.5-mile-long journey snaking through forests, over the Clear Creek, and through valleys within the Rocky Mountains. The ride also features a stop at the former Lebanon mine, as well as a ride over the famous Devil's Gate High Bridge, which spans 95 feet high above the gorge. Between the towns of Silver Plume and Georgetown, the line descends a distance of over 600 feet in elevation, which is done through a series of narrow curves, and of course the famous Georgetown Loop. Our locomotive for today's trip is Westside Lumber Company No. 9, which is a Shay type built by the Lima Locomotive Works in 1923. Originally working out of Tuolumne, California, the narrow-gauge Shay underwent a 15-month restoration period and now has found a home here on the Georgetown Loop.
How old do you think that locomotive is? 91 years old.
What's going on here, Star?
Charlie.
You hold this and hold this.
Once we get to the Devil's Gate boarding area, we'll run that locomotive around the train, put it on the front so we can pull us back up the hill. What you're riding on today is a reconstructed portion of the Georgetown, Breckenridge, and Leadville Railroad, or GB&L for short. The first rail line up into the mountains was the Colorado Central. They went west out of Denver in 1870, following Clear Creek, through the towns of Arvada, Golden, Idaho Springs, finally reaching Georgetown in 1877. And that's when the GB&L was formed to continue the line on west to Silver Plume, with the idea of going even further west, tunneling under the Continental Divide to the rich mining areas of Breckenridge and Leadville. However, once they built about 5 miles west of Silver Plume, the parent company of the GB&L, the Union Pacific, acquired another railroad, which already came into Leadville. so they canceled their plans of taking this line beyond the divide. They cut it back to Silver Plume, and that's where it ended. The Georgetown, Breckenridge, and Leadville Railroad was 4 1/2 miles long. About the turn of the century, that is 1900, it was a divide closed, and the railroad had to look elsewhere for revenue. It found that revenue in tourism. The fame of the Georgetown Loop had grown nationwide, if not worldwide, as a scenic engineering marvel of the 19th century. Thousands came to ride the train. As many as 7 trains a day would leave Denver, people up over the loop. We'd have a 50-engine Silver Plume, and then back over the loop to Denver in time for supper. There was another tourist line that hooked onto the end of this one right here in Silver Plume. It was the Argentine Central. It went up to the small mining community of Waldorf at 11,500 feet. At one time, Waldorf was the highest post office in the United States. Today, Waldorf is a ghost town. Actually, the highest post office in the United States today is Leadville, Colorado, at just a little over 10,000 feet. So the Argentine Central climbs from Waldorf to the top of Mount Umbrella at 13,500 feet. Where the Indian Fire Code was once called the Ballpark. As of years ago, there weren't any trees down there. In fact, there were hardly any trees in the valley. It all been cut down for various reasons. So, railroad ties, for housing, for mine shoals, and of course for heat. Now, boy, there was plenty of room down there to build a baseball field, but that's just what the miners did. They come here on Sunday afternoon, they roll the day off, have a picnic right to the morning, and another reason they like narrow gauge is what I wanted to use the narrow gauge here in the mountains for several reasons. First, it's cheaper to build. That's always a good reason. Also, these cars are smaller. They're able to negotiate very sharp curves, like that one we came around on the high fill. Because the cars are smaller, they're lighter and more easily pulled up these steep mountain grades. And this grade we're on right now is the steepest on our line. It's a 4% grade. That means for every 100 feet we travel, we drop 4 feet in elevation. Another reason they like narrow gauge here in the mountains was because the roadbed didn't have to be as wide. That meant a lot when building through a boulder field like the one we're entering now. Look off to the left side, and it has a little further down where the buildings are. I say sister mine, that means they're going at some point. In this case, it's 1,200 feet out of the mountain. Now, those people taking the mine tour, they'll learn a lot of really important things about mining, like what you get when you drop a piano down a mine shaft. Okay, well, what do you get when you drop a piano down a mine shaft? A flat miner. Sorry about that. We're now going through a boulder field.
Maybe 2-footer
Going through this area. We're now approaching the clearing, which is the site of the Hall tunnel. That rusty piece of machinery is an Ingersoll Rand air compressor that was used to power the drills and also to ventilate the mine. And next to that is the old boiler house. Now, when the mine opened in the late 1880s, everything was powered by steam. But over the years, things were gradually switched over to electricity. Told that the Hall was the first mine in the valley to use electricity. The Hall was just one of many rich-producing silver mines in this valley to help give Georgetown the nickname Silver Queen of the Rockies. As we make this next slight bend to the right, there's a break in the trees on the left side. You'll be able to see down the valley and the That's a glimpse of the high bridge, which we'll soon cross. But if you look right down below,
We can actually get the train going over the trestle.
as we leave the bridge, if you look down on the left-hand side, you'll see a small stone monument. It looks like a tombstone. That was placed there in 1947 by the Colorado Historical Society to commemorate the location of the high bridge. The bridge had been torn down in 1939. Little did they know when they put the monument there that about 40 years later, the bridge was being rebuilt. And trains again operating over the loop. Our train today is being called the locomotive number 9. This is an oil-fired steam locomotive built in 1923. A lot of people are going to get on the train, however, so if you like where you're sitting, you may just want to stay on board and not risk giving up those seats. If you do get off the train, though, be sure to listen for that final all aboard. I'd hate to have you miss the train back to Silver Grove. It's a very long walk, and it's all uphill. This stop is
Go all the way to
Devil's Gate
Georgetown?
Station.
so much of this.
Okay, he's gonna hook it up. Alright.
Why he's not going, Mom?
He will in just 1 minute. And watch this. Conductor is holding his hands. He's standing out of the way because he's not really buckled between the two tracks.
Ooh, all of us things out there.
He is. You want to see it?
Here we go.
Here comes the choo-choo train. Here comes the choo-choo train. Pushing them together. Give it up, give it a little bit more. There they come. There it comes. Oh, coupled. Coupled.
Let's go!
What?
Let's go!
Yep, nice and tight.
Get a little slack.
Now you're going to hook up
Hooking up the air hose.
the air hose.
So we got brakes.
Oh, that makes our brakes work. Awesome. It's got a hand.
So that you can drive the entire Georgetown loop. In order to ride the loop, you have to start on this lower side of the bridge, so you can go under the bridge and then loop over this lower track. That's the loop, the Georgetown loop. Now we'll be going down just a bit further. Then we'll stop and start back the other direction. Once we start back the other direction, John and I will be coming through the cars to punch their tickets. So you might have those tickets out and available for us.